Oh, hey there, Scouts and Scouters. It's Pearson. I'm not wearing scout pants because it's the summer and I'm lounging. Here, we've got a fire. A pretty beastly fire, if I do say so myself. And today, you, all of you, are going to learn how to build a fire just like this. But first, we've got to talk about safety. Now, what I've got here is basically a metal fire pit, right? In your campsites, what you'll typically see is something similar to this, but it'll be in the ground, it'll be dug out, and surrounded by rocks, okay? What you really want to make sure you do whenever you build a fire is make sure, first of all, there's nothing overhead, so no trees, no leaves, nothing like that a flying ember could potentially catch, okay? Fire is actually incredibly damaging to the earth beneath it. That's why when you build a fire pit, that fire pit is going to stay there for years and years and years and years. Even in certain high-adventure bases like Firem'n, there are certain places where you are not allowed to build a fire because of the fire danger. So you really want to make sure, first of all, before you go ahead and start building your fire, it's in a safe location, approved by whoever owns that property. Okay, so whether that's your parents or if you're camping, making sure you're doing it in a designated fire pit, okay, because you don't want to create some sort of permanent damage that is going to leave a trace. So one other bit of safety that you want to make sure of is that you never put anything in the fire except for wood and fire starters, okay? You don't ever want to put bug spray in there. You don't ever want to put any sort of kerosene in there or gasoline in there, because that stuff is highly flammable, and fires are super unpredictable and can grow out of your control within seconds, okay? So you always want to make sure that you've also got a fire bucket nearby full of water, so that if your fire kind of jumps out of your fire pit or anything like that, you have a way that you can put that fire out immediately. Now, let's move on to the fun stuff. So when it comes to lighting a fire, there are three things you need: fuel, heat, and oxygen, all right? Fuel is going to come in the shape of your wood, obviously, and that starts off with the smallest possible twig you can find, okay? And that is our itsy bitsy. Now you can see this is a pretty thin stick here, okay? It should just be about the size of the white part on your nail, okay? That's how thin this should be. And you don't just need one, you don't just need two, you need like 2 to 3 big handfuls of these itsy bitsies. So once you've got your itsy bitsies, you're then going to want to start building up to some larger sticks, like this, your pinky stick, okay? Makes sense? About the size of your pinky, all right? And then finally, you're going to want to build up to your thumb sticks, okay? Size of your thumb. Makes sense. Pretty simple, all right? Then after that, what you're going to want to think about is how you're going to build your fire. For this fire, I used a log cabin, but you can also build something like a teepee by leaning a bunch of sticks up against each other. You can make a lean-to if you've already got a log like this laying in there. You can just lean a bunch of sticks up against it. You can build a bird's nest, which is essentially just a big bundle of itsy bitsies and twine and lint and all this other stuff. And there are a number of other ways you can kind of build your starting fire, but I'd suggest going with the bird's nest or the log cabin. Those two have always seemed to work the best for me. Next, what you'll need to do is think about that heat source, okay? How are you going to light your fire? So now there are a couple of techniques when it comes to lighting a fire, okay? The one I used for this is dryer lint. Dryer lint is super, super dry, and it lights literally like that. I can't snap, but if I'll add a snapping noise. It lights just like that. You can also use frayed rope. If you've got that lying around your campsite, twine works really well. Birch bark is another really useful fire starter. But you don't want to take birch bark off of the trees. Only use birch bark that you find on the ground. And finally, what you need, once you've gotten your fire lit, is oxygen. Now, what I always like to do is use something like a dustpan or a frisbee. You could even use a large piece of cardboard. Anything that's got a wide surface area that you can kind of fling back and forth really quickly, and that's just going to fan your flames super well and get the flames back and roaring. So once you've got your little preliminary tiny fire going, that's what you can start piling on larger and larger sticks, okay? But you don't want to jump from your thumbstick right here to something like this, a big log, okay? Because, like you can see, it's just smoking. What you'll instead want to do is try and have a pretty steady stream of sticks getting larger and larger until you reach something like this. That way, the fire can kind of continue to build up and up and up, okay? Into larger and larger logs. So as my fire starts to fade away, I wanted to thank you guys for tuning in to this fun little Fireman Chit special. It was really fun to build this fire for you guys, and I'm glad I was able to share in this kind of fun little communal experience. I always remember fires being the best part of any camp out. You know, you can just sit around and talk, drink hot chocolate, make s'mores, and really kind of just sit and enjoy nature with people around you. Until that happens. I'm going to have more of these videos continuing to come out very soon, so keep checking back. If you really enjoyed this one, like I'm hoping you did, please leave a like, subscribe, even leave a comment telling me how your fire building experience went, and I'll see you in the next one.